Job there, Fitzy. Well, the live action hasn't finished. What we're going to do now is that there is another Aussie on court over on court one. Australia's John Millman is taking on Ryan Williams. And Millman has just secured himself a break of serve in the first set. He leads 3-1. Going to pass you to the commentators who are picking up this match. It's Hamish McLaughlin and John Fitzgerald.
Yeah, thanks very much, Todd. John Millman, well, he is one of the more popular Australians on the circuit, and it's great to see him playing again after so much time watching on. He's had shoulder problems. It's such a great Brisbane International here in 2013, and then a great week in Sydney following that. But with his injuries dropped out of the top 1,000, and now he's knocking on the door of the top 100 again, and he's got full support on show court one.
15.
Now, Fitzy, John Millman is a player that has his own sort of cult following in tennis in these parts, and we saw him play a few years ago. He took that set off Andy Murray here and really gained some confidence, but at the same time, he gained a fan club, and it was coined at the time Millmania by Phil Lutton, who was writing in some of the papers, and great to see him back.
Yeah, look, he is a popular figure in Australia. He's a very, very likeable personality, is John. He's been around a while. He's done a lot of hard yards, and he's earned the right to play at this level. Some players get there earlier than others, but if you persevere, the opportunity will arise.
And he's been given a wild card here into the Brisbane International in his hometown. He plays Ryan Williams, who is a qualifier, so he's actually ranked above Ryan. So you would think, home crowd, ranking as it is, he's favoured, and wins today. He plays a pretty reasonable player. Who goes by the name of Federer. So a lot to play for. He's going well at the moment. Up a break in the first. John Millman. Welcome back to the Brisbane International. It is day 3. The man in the red shirt is Ryan Williams from the United States. He is a qualifier here in Brisbane. John Millman wearing the blue shorts. A Brisbaneite, born, resides here, born into a family of 5. 4 sisters, 25-year-old, with a huge fan base. And we were talking before, John, about his popularity. After each match, he basically gives away anything that is on the court to the fans. Towels, drinks, old wraps from the grip.
And ironically, he's playing a player who lost to our previous American on Pat Raft Arena here, Steve Johnson, in the final of an NCAA championship. So Ryan Williams will like these conditions, you would think.
He won his first, and we talk of John Millman, his first ATP match he won here. Oh, she's not obviously a massive Millman fan, but may even be dribbling, is she? John Millman won his first ATP match here against Ito before he took Murray to 3. Then he beat Tommy Robredo in Sydney the following week.
Yeah, well, at his best, he's quite a devastating hitter, John Millman. He really hits the ball heavily from the back of the court. Remember that set against Murray he played? That was impressive. And he competes. He is an awfully good competitor, will not lie down.
40-15.
and is a man that gets the best out of himself. So the work is ahead here for Ryan Williams. Just a little loss of concentration there, I think. Trying to finish this game. He's got the lead in the game, Williams, but he wants to be careful not to throw a couple of easy free points away here.
Game, Williams. Millman leads 4 games to 2.
So at 4-2, and we talk about a couple of wins on the ATP Tour, John, I mean, we get used to seeing such stars as Federer and Dimitrov and Nishikori and Raonic are all playing here in Brisbane, and they have very different life to the journeyman, inverted commas. I mean, John Millman's trying to win his 3rd match on the ATP Tour. Last year he's playing at Traralgon and F10s and F11s in Korea, trying to grab some points and come up the rankings again.
They're the futures you're talking about. They're really the entry-level professional tournaments these days. And so he's played a lot of them, more than his fair share.
The futures and then the challenges and then the qualifiers to get into these events. When you see someone playing on your screens around the country, they are sensational players. Let's not mistake that, but some are doing it a lot easier than others.
Well, when you consider there's more than 500 AFL players earning a living in Australia. If you make the top 150 in the world of tennis, where there's probably 100 times more players, you're pretty good.
15
And John's knocking on the door of that 100 again. There's 6 Aussies at the moment in between 100 and 200, all who are scrapping and fighting their way. We saw one yesterday, James Duckworth, have a terrific win over Gilles Simon. I heard John Millman say to Cam Pearson, who's the tournament director, put me somewhere in the draw where I can play a big seed. So he's got a qualifier here in Ryan Williams. He's got a break in the first set. And he's got the big daddy of the tour waiting for him.
You like that story, don't you?
I love it.
Well, there's the viciousness, so to speak, of his ground strokes, the forehand in particular. He rips that with a lot of topspin, Millman, and that allows him to create this angle. It's his trademark, really.
Well, he's going well at the moment. A date with Federer awaits. 5-2 in the first to the local boy, John Millman, the 25-year-old. Day 3 of the Brisbane International. A lot of rain yesterday about the place. A warm, clear day today. And, well, it's terrific tennis all around the place. The Pat Rafter Arena has seen some tennis. But right now we're focusing on show court 1. And John Millman, the 25-year-old, is taking on a qualifier, Ryan Williams, the winner of this match, to play Roger Federer.
And what an experience that would be.
15
There wouldn't be much of a sleep pattern, I don't think, the night before, playing probably an idol. He's virtually everybody's tennis idol, isn't he, Roger? So for one of these youngsters here, that'd be an interesting day.
I heard someone talk about Roger the other day, and they said every bloke wants to be him and every bird wants to be with him. It's not a bad way to live your life when every bloke on the planet admires you.
We're lucky we've got him in tennis.
Reading some numbers, if he wins all 4 matches here, he clocks his thousandth to a win. streets ahead of anyone else to have ever played the game. He's the most intriguing man on tour. I mean, at 33, he's chasing that elusive number 18. He won 5 titles last year. He's a father of 4. The whole thing just adds up to an extraordinary story. And he's been told he's slowing down for the last 4 years. And he's still number 2 in the world and knocked on the door of number 1 late last year.
What are the odds of having 2 sets of twins?
I actually read that the other day, and depending on what report you read, but it's either, I think, 30,000 to 1 or more. But he just keeps defying the odds, doesn't he? Terrific from Millman. Saw it early and really hit it cleanly.
He did. The serve's not quite big enough. If you're going to lay it out to the forehand here, you better put something on it. Just a little bit too light. He rolls it in, and Millman handles that easily. Great shot.
Well, hold from Williams. 5-3. Millman to serve for the first set.
Millman leads 5 games to 3.
Well, we want to keep showing you live and current tennis all around the country. We're going to flip over quickly to the Hopman Cup, and this is Adam Levicek of the Czech Republic. This is a huge win for him. He dropped the first set and has come back and has defeated Fabio Fognini, and the Czechs take out that tie, winning both the singles. 6-1 in the third for Pavlicek, and that is a huge result for him. Fantastic. And that now means that if you would like to watch this match between Ayla Tomljanovic and Elina Svitolina, they are currently warming up on Pat Raft Arena. If you switch over now to 7mate, you can watch all of that live from the very first ball, because we are staying at Show Court 1, where we are with Australia's John Millman and Ryan Williams. Take you back to the commentators here, Hamish and Fitzy.
Thanks, Todd. And John Millman's got a great opportunity here. First point on serve. Got the break. We'll talk more about Fognini in the second set here. Fitzy. Nervous times for John Millman. The first set close. Just quickly on Fabio. I always sort of think of those horses you get on. You don't know whether they're going to buck or give you one of the great rides. Just muster the cattle quietly or throw you over the fence. He's an enigma.
I must admit, I hadn't thought that analogy.
Well, you just don't know what you're going to get. Big forehand from Ryan Williams.
Yeah, it did look like his heart rate had gone down to about 27, resting there at the end of the match. I don't know what that means, but
an enigma wrapped up in a riddle. 2 set points to John Millman.
good set of tennis.
Yeah, cracking serve down the middle. Sets up that first set. John Millman halfway to an evening date with Roger Federer. Amazing how much work goes into putting on a tournament like the Brisbane International. Cam Pearson's got a huge staff that help him make sure that all the players' lives are well looked after and catered for. And the stringers are a huge part of the players' lives. A lot of the stringers can do a racket in under 20 minutes now. I find that extraordinary.
There's a lot of great exports out of Mildura too, and Cam Pearson is at the top of the list. You know he's from Mildura?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Puts on an excellent tournament.
Yeah.
The players love coming here. Roger Federer has come back after last year's defeat in the final. Roger Federer is waiting for the winner of this match between the qualifier from the States, Ryan Williams on screen, and John Millman, who we've talked about a lot, and particularly how popular he is amongst the locker room and Australian fans. And not sure how well known it is, but he was very close, Fitzy, in 2011 to giving the game away.
Yeah, well, you tread that fine line, don't you, as a young pro? You're trying to make a living. Tough to earn $1 out here, you know, and you need that breakthrough. You need one good tournament like this. If he could win a few matches here, or even if he wins one and comes up against the great man Roger Federer, great experience. But you need a few dollars behind you to keep you going.
To travel with a coach annually, Fitzy, around the place, what do you think it costs?
Oh, well, think of the airfares, and then think of the salary. But the third one is probably the most important, is the expenses of the extra person on the road. So it's not cheap. Not if you're ranked 150 in the world.
So best guess on all of that adding up, we're talking 300,000 for the year. Airfares, travel expenses, coaches, meals, running costs, stringers.
I don't think the coach of a guy who ranked 150 would be travelling business class.
No. But you've still got to
I think you can get away with a lot less than that. But it's still a lot of dough for a young kid trying to make it.
And a lot without the help of a Tennis Australia assisting.
Yeah, well, there's some assistance around. There's criteria that needs to be matched or fitted, though. You have to fit the criteria, but not everyone gets.
Well, not every country has a Tennis Australia running the operation.
Exactly. See, even countries that have tournaments like this have the ability to give wildcards. So for a player like John and some of the other younger guys in Australia, wildcards like this are a huge bonus, because that's at least first round prize money. So it's like a gift.
And if he can have a win today, he's almost going to pick up his equal biggest check of his career. But just going back as we change, we have a look at the first set highlights. Millman just kept the ball in, hit the ball well. Ryan Williams gave up a lot of cheap points.
Yeah, well, he's a powerful player, John Millman. You know, that forehand is heavy, and it'd take a while for, I'm sure, Ryan Williams to get used to the heaviness of it. It's not necessarily from A to B the fastest forehand you'll see, but because of the amount of revolutions on the ball, it really feels heavy coming onto your racket. So, and that heaviness and spin enables him to take players laterally out of the court. So he's an effective player. Case in point in that last forehand, but and he serves well. His first serve is very effective.
We're just going back to that conversation in regard to earnings. The 150th player in the world at the end of last year earned $211,000 on the ATP tour. The 100th player, 374. Neither of those two guys are putting too many dollars in the bank, Fitzy, from what you're saying in regard to the cost of living and getting around the place. And if you're the 100th best at something in the world, you should be earning a very good living.
Well, if you consider this, possibly, we think, around 80 million tennis players. So to be ranked 100, you're pretty darn good.
There's only 99 in the world better than you last year, and you're only just getting ahead.
Well, it sounds a lot, I guess, that number, but you've got the expenses. If you can afford a coach, you take a coach, so that's a chunk of it, and then you pay tax and start again. It's not quite what I think
it seems.
It seems.
It'll seem very glamorous. John Millman, if he can get through here, and he's halfway there playing Roger Federer under lights at the Brisbane International, but it's not as it seems.
No, but if you make the first 20 in the world, that's a massive step from 100. But then you make serious money. But you know how good you have to be there? So I can't believe how deep Ryan Williams is playing in the court. He was about 1.5 meters behind the Brisbane sign. So a few drop shots at the right time from Johnny Millman here might be appropriate.
Difficult, Fitzy, to see the ball coming out of the shadow and into the light on our monitors. How bad out there playing?
Not easy at different times. Good overhead. He's solid up there. Well played, Johnny.
He's really pushing Ryan Williams back. At some points during the rally, he's out of our screen, Ryan Williams.
Yeah, I'd like John to sense that he's so deep, because if he does, he can just throw in the odd drop shot, and that gives him another way to win a point. So you need more than 1 or 2 or 3 ways to win points. You need 6 or 7. And a drop shot would be handy against someone who's that deep, no doubt.
Well, terrific hold. Another big serve down the middle. So 1 each in the second.
There's a big night of tennis to still come our way here from the Brisbane International. Leighton Hewitt is on Pat Rafter Arena in the start of his title defence, and it will be a tough one for him as he takes on Australia's Sam Gross, the man with the fastest recorded serve on the ATP Tour. Hewitt, can he do it again? He looks good, he's fit, and he's keen to play.
Wow. Off balance, off guard, clean winner.
Talented shot right there.
Getting some sleep in before Leighton tonight, the youngster. Saving his energy. Sharapova and Hewitt double act tonight.
Just harking back, Hamish, on that, it's about the journey of a tennis player in my mind. I try to tell the young kids this, it's about the enjoyment. You play because you love it. It's an amazing experience to get outdoors and play in different parts of your state and in your city and maybe interstate. And if you're lucky, away somewhere overseas, that's the experience. That getting paid to play a sport is, for me, it's the bonus. So you have to keep things in perspective. And, the experience and the education that someone like John Millman's had will stand him in good stead for the rest of his life. He's an all-rounded kid. He's a quality individual. He's had the travel, the experience. He'll stand him in good stead for the next part of his life.
little bit frivolous, I think, with the drop shot there. He played that falling away. It wasn't effective enough. Put himself under pressure, Williams, and he pays the penalty to face a break point now. Missed it. Gee, two big errors there from Williams gives Millman the upper hand.
Pat Rafter is one of Australia's icons, really, to not only the sport of tennis, but to Australian sport in general. Two-time US Open winner, finalist a couple of times at Wimbledon. I thought against Goran, that was his year, but
you know how to remember the years Pat Rafter won the US Open, don't you?
I don't know.
Back to back.
I was travelling in London when I watched the first.
It's easy to remember.
97, 98.
The same 2 years the Adelaide Crows won the AFL Premiership. Very simple.
Said by an Adelaide Crows fan and a Pat Rafter lover. Well, John's going well here. He's got the first set safely deposited. He's got the first break in the second, and Ryan Williams looks unhappy with himself.
Yeah, this is looking pretty good, isn't it, for John? He looks like he might have. I want to put the Motzer on him, but it looks like he might have his opponent covered here. They're the type of points John Millman likes, and he won't miss for long periods of time from back there. So either Williams is going to have to find another way to win some points, sneak in, mix these points up a little bit, or his logic says he'll be in trouble here as this match second set wears on.
Well, body language of Ryan Williams not terrific, and Millman not doing too much, just doing enough to be comfortably in control of this match. Just had a text sent through from Ace Murillo, who's a coach I know in Victoria. He's pointed us out an article on 538.com, which is worth having a look at, about tennis players and their earnings. Only 336 players last year on tour made money. And that's defined by earning more than they spent. Worth having a look at. The article by Carl Bialik, 538.com. Oh, big slap. He's in good shape, John Millman.
Well, we saw just a little earlier on Pat Rafter Arena disappointment in a tight three-set match from Marinko Matosevic, but the professionalism continues. He's in the gym there talking to, I think that looks like Josh Eagle, the Davis Cup coach from Australia. So disappointment, played well, wasn't quite able to finish it off, but on court one, John Millman has everything well under control, leading by a set and a break. And don't forget, Leighton Hewitt and Sam Groth also still to come in our coverage from the Brisbane International.
Love 15.
This is looking like a good draw right now for John Millman. Ryan Williams is just spraying way too many balls, not playing with the percentages he needs to at this level. The odd winner, but his shot selection has been a little bit, probably left a little bit to be desired in recent games, and just handing too many free points to Millman, who at the moment just has to keep the ball in play with a little bit of purpose.
Third, 15.
terrific coverage from Millman.
Yeah, look, in my mind, Williams there just made a tactical blunder.
The third ball should have been put away, Fitzy,
Well, it
surely.
should have gone down the line. That one should have gone down the line. He hit it the wrong way. He hit it across court, which opened his court up. He had to hit a winner there if he was going to go there. If he'd gone down the line, he had the next ball covered.
The worrying thing about that was he just watched Millman get to that ball and put it into an open court. There wasn't a lot of scramble.
Yeah. Look, I'm interested to see how he's approaching this match, Williams. I mean, he's in the main draw of an ATP event, and it just looks like he's not applying himself well enough. I mean, this is one of the biggest matches of his life. Maybe he's not feeling 100%. He looks a little bit like that might be the case. He loses this game, it'll be in the history books quickly, you'd think.
Well, suddenly another opportunity for Millman right now. The serve has been either big down the middle or erratic from Ryan Williams from what we've seen. The forehand has let him down. The movement's not good.
He looks all at sea to me. He's played the last couple of games a bit like a junior plays it. You know, too many errors, wrong shot selection. He needs to tighten his game up really quickly.
There it is. The double break for Hot Johnny. Millman leads it 4-1 in the second. Well, 7 Summer of Tennis starts in Brisbane and Sydney. And then it moves down to the Australian Open with play in the West at the moment with the Hopman Cup and also Kooyong in Melbourne next week. We'll show you as much as we can, and what we don't show you can find yourself on the 7 Sport app or at 7sport.com.au. But right now we're enjoying this 25-year-old's effort against the young American John Millman. 6-3, 4-1. Double break in the second. He looks fit and fresh, and Fitzy's opponent doesn't.
His opponent looks like he's looking for a cold ice bath right now. Looks like he's struggling physically. And that's an understatement.
Serena was looking the same, and she fixed things with an espresso, but I think Ryan's in slightly different territory. He's missing a lot of balls. He's walking slowly and sluggishly, and at the change of ends we had a camera on him. He was underneath a white towel and gasping.
Yeah, mate, either he's sick or he's come from a northern winter, but somehow he got through qualifying. And maybe he's just run out of gas. I don't know, but he's physically in trouble, isn't he?
And conversely, John looks fresh and on the toes, and he's got the tail up.
Well, he served a double fault there, but he won't blow a candle out, John Millman. He's played like this for years, and he's got miles in his legs. He's fit as a trout. You'll be loving it. Well, occasionally hits the big forehand for a winning shot, but far too many of them have missed by large distances in this set. Well, no technology to check out on court one, and the call there is going to stand.
Well, he's serving well, hitting well, and he's a game away from a second round matchup with Roger Federer.
Well, some of the big guns hit Pat Rafter Arena this evening, and one of those is Maria Sharapova. She's won all of the Grand Slams. She comes into here as world number 2. She's the #1 seed at the Brisbane International. She's first on live at 8 p.m. Eastern on 7-2. She takes on Shvedova. Following that, it'll be Leighton Hewitt and Sam Groth.
Wow, just a slap. And I mean, this is really odd behaviour from Ryan Williams. That was a nothing shot of frustration and a really immature drill into the net.
Yeah, either he's really physically debilitated or sick, or this is not a good enough effort. But I think it's not the latter. I think it's just that he's really in distress physically. Not that hot out there today, not by Queensland standards in the middle of summer. High 20s.
Well, he's been gifted this. Now, Millman's not even having to
this is not a bad
work his way through it. This is perfect stuff for John.
Well, it's not a good look, though. I don't like seeing this. I mean, you know, at this level, it's not Johnny Millman's fault. He's doing all he needs to do to get through, and good luck to him. He's going to play Roger Federer in the second round.
I just got sent a text from Josh Kay, who is our head statistician, Fitzy. If John goes on to win here, he plays Roger Federer. Between them, they've got 88.88 million in prize money between them. John Millman, 261,000 of those dollars he has earned. So what a great night it will be. He's played Andy Murray on Pat Rafter Arena, took a set from him.
The sooner Ryan Williams gets off the court, the better. Not a good experience for him, but let's give John Millman some credit. This will be another ATP Tour level match under his belt as a win. Good to have a few in the W column.
Well, that's it. The ball's long, and John Millman and his big support crew get very excited. They see him win another ATP match, and he's got a great opportunity ahead of him. Roger Federer, arguably the greatest of all time, awaits. And if we know Cam Pearson, there'll be nowhere else other than Pat Rafter Arena at night that those two will meet. Terrific stuff. Millman through 6-3, 6-1.